Get you on the radio, yeah, you gotta get on the radio. It doesn't take a long time.
You gotta get on the radio. Welcome back to Around the House with Eric G. This is our midweek special. This is where we talk about all the things that happen between Saturday to Saturday, and more importantly, catch you up to what's going on in the middle of the week. As I'm sitting here, well, drinking my warm cup of coffee this morning, it is Wednesday, and that coffee does taste good. Well, here's the thing. We got a lot to talk about today because there's just a lot going on this week. A lot of good things going on this week. So let's talk about a few of those things. So this Saturday coming up on Around the House, you're going to hear the last Best of show for a very long time that'll be going across Alpha Media KXL. So you'll hear that in Portland on KXL. And then you'll hear it out on all the Radio Northwest network stations. This will be the last show for the Radio Northwest Network and on KXL. It's also the 31st birthday of Around the House. Have I been the host for all 31 years? Absolutely not. There is a long legacy of great people that have carried the torch for Around the House, and I do want to say thank you to all of them, and, you know, including Handyman Bob, who was the host before. So, you know, there's a lot of people that have carried that torch, and so that's a good thing. So just want to say thank you to all of you guys out there. We'll talk a little bit more about it on this Saturday. Now, you're going to want to wonder what's going on Saturday. So we've got the best of going out there. I'm going to do a best of, we're going to do one last best of show that'll go out on the network this weekend. So if you're listening to the terrestrial airwaves of AM and FM radio, you'll hear Around the House going on air. There's actually 3 shows going on this weekend, so this is where it's going to get a little crazy. Dane and I are going to do a podcast on Friday, so we will do our Saturday Around the House podcast special that we've been doing for the last few weeks. This will be our last Saturday podcast special for a while, so that's coming up. Now, here's the fun part of this. If you want to hear live radio, I'm going to be doing a special live show in the Tri-Cities for KONA. Tri-Cities, that's Eastern Washington, Kennewick, Pasco, Richland. It's a homecoming show for me. I thought, you know, while everybody's playing the best of out there, why not go ahead and do a live show for my hometown? But you know what the cool thing is you can listen to it live, and you can call in live, so you can be a part of that show as well. We're doing 2 hours of live radio from noon to 2 Pacific time there. If you go to the Facebook page, Around the House with Eric G., you will find out all the stuff right there, so you can listen to it live, and we'll be giving out numbers so you can call in as well. So that's going to be old school live radio, and you're going to hear it right there from noon to 2 on KONA in the Tri-Cities. So that will be a fun show for me because I grew up on that station. I grew up listening to the hydroplane races and all those other things. So that is a station that I grew up on. Heck, my dad was even on there. Had a bunch of interviews with him over the years. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Now, here's the thing. I have a big announcement we'll be making on Facebook Saturday at 2 p.m. So we've been talking about the remodeling of the Around the House and changes with a lot of it. Don't worry. It's all going to be good. But we're going to talk about that exciting news 2 p.m. on Saturday on Facebook. And if you're listening to the KONA, you're going to hear me talk about it on that show as well. But if you're not listening to that, and I'm not sure if that's going to get turned into a podcast or not, that might only just be a regular radio show. I don't know if we're going to record that or not. That is still to be determined. So we'll see what happens there. So anyway, we're going to do that show. But Saturday, 2 p.m., we're going to be doing an announcement on Facebook. So take a look there. I'm sure I'll get it up on Instagram as well, which means I'll be tweeting about it. So you can catch all those 3 places. And it's going to be a special day as well because it will be the 31st birthday of Around the House. Just not Around the House with Eric G on that one. So we got a big weekend ahead, like I said. Now, one thing I want to talk about in this episode is lawn care tools a little bit. This last weekend, I really got to play with Greenworks. And Greenworks is a power tool company that you can get at Lowe's. That's one of the main places you can get them. They're a pretty big company, and actually, I really like their stuff. Here's the thing. When you're talking power tools, especially when you're talking yard care, you're talking lawnmowers, trimmers, all those things. there's a lot of companies out there competing for your dollars on that. So I wanted to really try out and take a full package and see how it worked around my house. I don't have a huge yard. I've got your quarter acre lot here in suburbia, but there's plenty enough grass to test it out, especially when I've got thick, deep grass, because I waited a few days before mowing it, because not everybody mows it every single day at the same time. Sometimes it ends up going a couple extra days. So I really wanted to see how that was going to work. And it was pretty impressive. So what I started out with is I used the 60-volt system for Greenworks. It's their Greenworks Pro. And then I used it all around the yard. I mean, we used it, I mowed the lawn with it. I used the string trimmer to edge things with. I used the backpack leaf blower. I used the hedge trimmer. I used all of these things. And quite frankly, I loved it. There was no gas power to my back. I turned the switch on, it worked. I wasn't trying to, it's one of those things. If you've ever owned a 2-cycle hedge trimmer and try to get that thing started, because you're only using it a few times a year, man, you're going to rip your shoulder loose trying to get that thing out. That's rotator cuff injury 101, trying to get those things started, especially in the spring when you haven't used it for maybe 6 months to a year even on some of those tools. So here's the thing. So I really enjoyed it, and here was the thing that I was most impressed with, that I really liked about it. The thing that I really enjoyed was that I mowed my entire yard, and it only used about 25% of the battery. So I had a lot more to go on that. So if you've got that thick grass on a quarter acre yard, I think this thing is going to do super well for you. And the other trick I liked with it too is that it had one of basically the go button, because it's electric. It's not turning the blade. So when I went through my landscaping to get into my backyard from the front yard, I went through the bark, because that's the easiest way to get through there, down the pathway. Guess what happens? When I got a lawnmower on that thing and it's running, I'm tossing bark everywhere and it's trying to mulch it. With this, blade's not turning. Really awesome deal for a lawnmower. I thought it was a lot of fun. So that's one of the things that I really enjoyed with the Greenworks tools was, man, you hit the button and it went. So you're going to see me talk about it more in the coming weeks. You're going to see as well some videos that I did with Sparks on this one. We had some fun doing some review videos. You'll even see a few cameos of people in there that are part of the show. So you'll see what happens out. We're going to have a good time with these videos, and you'll see them coming out, starting next week. So stay tuned for that. Well, coming up on the KONA show, we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to be talking about some of restoring. I wanted to really dive into what I would call, for the Tri-Cities folks out there, something that I did a lot of, restoring and modifying alphabet homes in Richland. People are like, what are alphabet homes? Well, Richland, if you don't know what their backstory is, it is the home of the Hanford Nuclear Reservation. And the government came through, many times it was companies like General Electric, black budget funds came through there and built housing for all the people working out at the nuclear plant. That's where the Manhattan Project was going. They were building nuclear for finishing World War II. So, patriotic place out there. Heck, even Richland High School, what's their logo? The Bombers. And they have a big mushroom cloud. There is no politically correct wartime World War II stuff allowed in that town. And I can tell you that because I used to live there. Now, here's the thing. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to talk about some fire safety, wildfire safety around there. Then we're going to talk a little bit about irrigation systems and keeping them tuned up. And then the important one for everybody that's over there, keeping your home cool in the summer. So, just to round this out, I wanted to let everybody know you will hear a best of show. I'm not sure exactly which one it's going to be airing. It might be Robin Daly again with the painting. I'm not entirely sure, but we'll have to all be surprised on that one. But on KONA and the Tri-Cities, we've got the special show. And stay tuned, where Dana and I will be doing our Saturday podcast special. We'll be diving into some different subjects there as well. So stay tuned for all that. And most importantly, tune into Facebook or Instagram. 2 p.m. on Saturday. 2 p.m. is going to be the big announcement on Facebook. I'll be just coming off the air in the Tri-Cities, so I don't know if I'll have time to get up that Instagram post, but I know I will, for the latest stuff, have the Facebook open there. And we might sneak a little bit out on the show in Tri-Cities as well. So if you're listening to that online, you can stream that as well. So, all right, everybody, we will see you on Saturday. We got a ton of content coming ahead. And stay tuned on Facebook for all the updates, and that's Around the House with Eric G. And thanks for listening. And looking forward to having people tuning in this weekend for the Around the House kind of 31st birthday edition for everybody out there that's listening. You'll catch that on the podcast and on KONA. And the rest of you tuning in on radio, feel free. It's a good show. We're talking with Robin Daly, I believe. If not, it'll be one of the different best of shows going out on everything but KONA. Thanks for listening. See you on Saturday.